All right, sweet. Recording is started, and this is the January 17th, 2024 SIG DevEx community meeting thing. So we are at the tail end now of the 1.15 milestone. We entered the feature freeze. Is that scheduled for this upcoming Tuesday? So less than 1 week away from feature freeze. And then, as usual, the code freeze is 1 week following that. So January 23rd is feature freeze, January 30th is code freeze. As similar to how we did it for the 1.14 release, the Crossplane CLI sitting at the very, very top of the stack has less risk and less churn and such that would potentially regress or impact a vast majority of users, like with core functionality and stuff. So in the interest of feature freezes and code freezes, intending to minimize risk, I think we could take it on a case-by-case basis for our DevX related stuff as well. I would like us to try to land all our features before feature freeze. That would be ideal. But if some of them go past that, we can evaluate what is the risk and be, realistic about it. If it's a risk we're comfortable with, well, cool, we can still merge it and, we'll move on. So hopefully we can get everything wrapped up. So let's just jump on into that, because we've got, I think, 5 top level features, and I think there's progress and stuff going on for all of them. So let's jump on into that right now. Sweet. And I think basically that's what most of the agenda is anyways. So I think we'll organically get through the agenda that way also. So let's just go top to bottom, because it's kind of in priority order too. Ezgi, do you, I think I know the latest for you, but I would love to hear straight from your mouth, like what is the latest for the schema validation stuff, and what do you want to land within the, this week, let's say?
Sure. So I have opened one PR for the render command, which will help us to integrate it with the validate one. This one is introducing a new flag to the render command. If we use this flag, the output will contain the full XR instead of the status only XR. I think we are ready to merge it. I mean, I need one maintainer approval, but I addressed all the commands, and Pete came and commented about the flag name, etc. So I think we are all good about this one. Meanwhile, I also opened the validate command PR. We got some reviews about having a more abstract concept for validation. Instead of just CRDs and XRDs, users may provide providers or configurations. This leads the concept of package download part and storing the schemas in a file system, and it requires some efficiency, right? We don't want to download all the packages each time we are running validate command. So at first I thought that I can use some existing code base in app, but later I decided to implement the thing on my own. Right now I have finished downloading the provider schemas part. I will move to the configuration part, which shouldn't be that hard to implement once the provider is there. It will be quite similar. I mean, we had the dependence layer, but I think I can manage to do it tomorrow. The existing PR only covers the XRD and CRD part. I would love to get some feedback around it. Maybe we can first merge this one, and then I can add the download logic, etc. Right now, I have a pretty basic caching mechanism. I just check whether the required file is there or not before downloading the package. I don't check the hashes right now, but I may add that logic as well. So I'm keeping everything simple at this point to make the feature available for 1.15, and we can later improve the existing logic. I also don't plan to have the dependency resolution logic, recursive dependency resolution logic for this release.
Sweet. So yeah, a lot going on there, Ezgi. Thanks for all that updates. Let me try to parse it all and internalize it as well. So yeah, so as we've discussed before, like I'm totally supportive of landing this functionality, getting it merged in, and we can iterate on it later on. So I heard you say that you were working on like the downloading logic of providers and configurations, etc. That you're working on that. You were not going to use the existing logic from the up CLI. You're going to do some logic yourself. But I didn't understand if that was going to be part of the currently opened PR, or that's like code you're doing on the side and you'll open a follow-on PR for that functionality. Which one was it?
I'm working on top of the open PR right now. If we don't get any reviews, I can push it to the existing branch. If we get some reviews or merge the existing PR, I can open another one. So
so we're flexible there.
Yeah, I'm flexible.
Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. All right, so let me take some notes then.
By the way, I would think it's better to merge what we have now and then figure out the downloading separately, because I think it will be a separate, discussion around that. I think most people are okay with what is there already in the PR. Maybe we just have to push a bit to the reviewers to, state their mind if this is okay as is without the download for now.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense to me, Lovro. That's a preference that I have as well too. And I also want, like, I have some time blocked today to go through all open reviews and just get my feedback on them at least too. So I think we will be getting more complete reviews in on all this stuff also. That's a weird letter. There we go. Okay, and then there were a couple of things that I had taken a note to make sure we have tracking issues for Ezgi. I think one of them was like the turning this into like a reusable library so that other consumers can call it from different contexts. And then I think there was I wrote it down so I could look at it, but I think there was another one around like follow-up validation, like that's more thorough than the built-in validation the API server library gives us. So that was another follow-on issue as well too. So I have that written down. I'll make sure that we get issues tracking and put into the roadmap and all that stuff also, because I think that'll all be very useful functionality that we need as well. So I'm not worried about that. Oh, and then Ezgi, can you help me understand, like, so you arrived at the decision to not use the existing logic from the up CLI. Can you give more context on that one about why that doesn't work well for us?
The first thing I noticed is up code is downloading the whole image instead of just the base layer. And I believe this is one of the reasons why it may take longer than expected. The second one is there is this dependency resolution logic. Even though we don't need to download any of the packages, everything is on the cache, there is still this logic is happening, and it takes some time to understand what we might want to download and check whether those are downloaded or not. And since up CLI logic is independent from any other command, I mean, up x package dep is a standalone command. It just downloads the packages and stores the CRDs. We don't need to worry about the performance that much. But if we want to integrate it, the logic in a different command, and each time we run validate, for example, if we are gonna wait that long, that might bother some users. So I wanted to have a quick response on that command. So rather than try to improve the existing app CLI code, I started to download. I started to implement the logic separately. What I'm currently doing is I'm just downloading the base layer, which contains the package.yaml file with CRDs and some meta package information, which I think improves the time performance.
Is some of it something that we can later put into this dep? Like this, what you said with some of the base layer?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so trying to understand it all still, Eski. It all sounds reasonable, but I don't have it, internal, like fully understood yet. So bear with me. So I once again, I think I'm not the first person to do this. I forgot we have this Crossplane X package dep already. I already forgot about that. So is it compatible? Like if someone were to run Crossplane X package dep on a particular provider, and that puts stuff into the cache, is that the same cache? That cache is compatible with what we do with the validate command as well? It's all the same cache?
I mean, it has more than what we need, but it covers everything we need. So yes,
sweet. Okay, so it would be a valid workflow for someone to say, okay, cool, I want to do validate on this particular composition I'm writing. So I will run Crossplane X package dep, and I will get everything downloaded up front. And then I run validate, and we've got everything. Nothing has to be downloaded. Everything's there, and it's fast.
There is one thing I need to correct. It's not Crossplane X package dep. It's up X package dep. That's the mistake I made. Probably.
Oh, it's not in Crossplane.
It's not in
The
Crossplane.
binary. Okay. Got it. Boop. And it uses this, but it does use the same cache that we would be using for validate.
It stores the schemas under .up/cache/ the provider package name convention. If we pass that path to the validate command as the extensions or schemas argument, we can use it.
Okay. So you would have to,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you basically tell Crossplane validate to use that cache directory. You can be explicit about that with the, like, say that's the schema directory to use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. So, all right then. So to put it all together, Eski, thank you for your patience. So the expected workflow for an upstream Crossplane user that just wants to run validates, like they will just run validate. Like right now with what we want to land in 1.15, like they're not expected, either they can manually populate a schemas directory, they can get CRDs, they can put them there, that's fine. But if they don't do that, then we hope to have some automatic downloading of just the base layer to be quick about it and not walk the whole dependency chain and all that stuff. So we'll just do the quickest thing possible to like get to a working validation, right?
Yes, exactly. Also, at the first step, we are not going to support private registries, so we are not going to get
the secrets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
yep, that's a reasonable constraint.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. That all sounds reasonable, Eski, with the constraints we have, and I think that's a good instinct to make a trade-off here of having a responsive experience as opposed to validate and like, all right, I'm going to wait a few minutes for anything. Like this seems like a good trade-off, especially as a starting point. You know, we could figure out how to streamline things or make it more rich later on, but I think this is a very reasonable place to get started, I think, here.
Right.
Sweets. Okay. And let me see if I got all the notes here. Okay, sounds good. So then anything else about validate Ezgi? Because I think then that getting this PR merged, which sounds like it's close, and then getting some complete, so getting some approvals on the validate command PR, then hopefully we can get both those merged while you work on the downloading experience and, try to get that in as well for 1.15.
Yep, that's all.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all. All right. Well, you're working hard, Ezgi. That sounds great. Great work, dude. Whew, okay. So then Lovro, I think you were next on the list here, bro. And this one has a purple check mark.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, between me putting this stuff on the agenda and the meeting, it got merged.
Merged.
Yeah, so yeah, nothing much than to say. It's done. I showed it, I think, already 2 times on meetings how it works.
Yep.
But yeah, the thing here, yeah, let's not forget this. What has to be done, and I'll do the PR to the function go template, is to add actually some nodes and installation scripts to our templates. So I'll do the first one, the function go template, but the other ones we can add as we want. It's not really connected with the release like cadence, so I'll better focus on the tasks that are left. And for this one, it was fairly simple. And for testing, I added this initialization command that already does like most of the automation that is needed for users to start with their own function.
Yep, sweet. That sounds perfect, dude. Because yeah, we needed the base functionality in for the Crossplane itself release, and then having these real content for the notes and init files is not tied to the Crossplane release. You're correct. So that could be a follow-on thing, and we can focus right now. The most immediate thing is getting core Crossplane CLI stuff in before the release. So yep, totally agree with that. You want to let's just go ahead and while we're at it then, bud, let's talk about migrate as well. So that's the next one.
Yeah, this one, it's not really, it's already done, to be honest, because Stephen Borelli already created this migrate command. The task here is just to put them into the Crossplane CLI and then maybe update a bit the naming, check the code and see if there are some things that can be improved. I saw there is also one issue, but there's also an open PR from Steven to fix it, which is awesome. So I'll just add that as well. So it's making my life easy here. Yeah. Yeah, and there, yes, Chris created an issue, and Steven already fixed opened the PR to fix it. So,
sweet.
Awesome.
All right. Was there any, for what you saw, Lovro, for migrating the code over to be in the Crossplane code base, was there any weird dependencies that it brings over, or non-idiomatic stuff that wouldn't be a good fit in the Crossplane code base?
Well, this is what I'm going through now. I see there is only, for example, one, we copy over some of the input from the patch and transform function, because that stuff can't be imported because it's not public. So stuff like this, but I'll see if it can be resolved somehow. But if not, we can keep working on it and iterating it. We won't change the the API of the function of the command. I think it will stay similar, and that's why I want to also do the naming right, so we're all happy with how the naming goes, which is always the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the internals, I'll try to like go through it and find some weird things if they are there, but from what I see, it's mostly like just converting from one thing to another. And,
Awesome. Cool. Well, that sounds
so
good.
hopefully,
And go ahead.
sorry, hopefully this week it will be out. Maybe tomorrow on Friday, I'll put a PR out for that.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. Yeah, and then I'll emphasize that we can be as I'm not sure what the right word is here, but we can be like, for the experience that we want to present to Crossplane users, we have the full freedom to make that happen here. So like you've already said it here basically, but just because something was named a certain way, or it's got a certain flag, or a certain part of the user experience in the contrib repo where this lives, doesn't mean that has to stay the same when it gets pulled into Crossplane. Like the end result in the Crossplane CLI is it should be a polished experience that we feel good about. As you said, like you already get it. So yeah, feel free to make changes that you think are necessary to make the correct polished experience for Crossplane CLI.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sweet. All right. Cool. Okay, so then that's migration stuff. And then Piotr has a early PR, I think, for the top command. I think if I'm reading this correctly here, I'm not entirely sure what needs to be done in his mind for this to come out of the draft stage. But
I can help there.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's adding like for example, even today I was doing the review, and already during my review he added some stuff, so I had to do it again. He's adding unit tests, going over. So I think somewhere in our chat he put like a few bullet points of what he wants to do, but it was around like unit tests that I see already he added for some things, and let me see if there is something more. Some refactor, some functions, sorting by CPU. Yeah. So, but in general, like this is already a very good like base of what we want to achieve. We agreed that we will just start simple and do the top of all Crossplane pods, like the kubectl top looks like. And then there is this topic of metrics that we were talking about, of adding like different metrics, but we want to tackle this iteratively, as you say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was my understanding as well, is that especially with the capacity that Piotr has, that this is going to be the base functionality, and it won't be the full experience with all sorts of metrics and stuff like that. So that's reasonable, like getting it in, and so we have a start from the experience that we can iterate on. Sounds great. So yeah, so I hope that he'll have the time to add everything that he wanted to, so we can call this complete and get this in as well. But it looks like it's on a good enough track though. And the early reviews are helpful for that. So thanks for doing that. Okay. And then yeah, so my issue here. So I haven't touched that yet in 2024. I don't think. I've been out for a long time, but I got all the functionality that I wanted to expose. I got that all done over the holidays. So it's just sitting in my branch right now, basically. And I think the functionality is rich, and I feel pretty strong, pretty decently about the experience that we've built being something we can ship in 1.15. So I need to find the time to clean up a few items here. Probably the most important, the biggest one is going to be the testing of it. So testing is a good idea. So I don't feel like there's a ton left here. I think that the risk that I have here for this feature, because I do feel good about it, and I've tested it in a lot of scenarios manually, and it feels like a pretty resilient implementation, so I'm not too stressed about it. But the risk that I have here is that it's also on my plate to make the default registry change, and that one is one that kind of worries me now. So those are the two competing things I have with my Crossplane engineering focus time, which is also not 100% of the time that I have. So I'm a little concerned now with the time we have, but the way that I'm feeling about it is that I would not, like default registry change, essentially changing the way the package manager kind of works by default. That has more core Crossplane impact and core user experience impact and potential for regression and all that stuff. That's got way more risk than the, adding trace, like adding package types to the trace command, with the high level Crossplane CLI experience. So this is one that I really want to get in before feature freeze. I would be getting that after feature freeze, I'm comfortable with. So this is the one I'm prioritizing right now because I think it's got more risk and needs to be landed earlier. And that's the way I'm going about this. So then here's a question to you all. I don't know if you all are already familiar with the way like the package manager internals work, but I was hoping this was going to be easy because we do already have a -- registry flag in core Crossplane. You can say like that basically sets what the default registry is for packages that don't specify the registry to pull from. So I was like, oh, sweet, this is going to be easy. We'll just change the default of that value. But that works, yes, for the package manager to go fetch the package from the default registry, parse through it, like install all the CRDs and the payload and all that stuff. That's all good. But then any of the like deployments or pods or whatever for a provider, for a function or whatever, we don't tell. That does not use the same registry. That basically is unimplemented. So the support of this flag doesn't work all the way. So that's kind of where I got to, was like, ah, shoot, it doesn't work. And I found maybe some places where we need to make a code change, but I don't know how widespread this may be. So that's the risk there, is that it does not work and something has to be changed, and I don't know the full scope of it yet. But if you all happen to already know a lot about the internals of the package manager and how everything gets set up when a package is installed and the providers are started up and stuff like that, feel free to weigh in and help out with that, because I would be grateful.
Okay, out of the top of my head, I don't know. I would have to check there. But about the previous topic with trace, I would also suggest you to put what you have in a draft PR, so it can get some early, reviews, and it can get even like if you don't have time for that, somebody from us can jump in, But like if you put it out there, it will already get some, looks on it.
Yeah,
because I understand like you can't focus on both in this time that we have left, for sure.
Good idea though, bro. Cool. So yeah, I'll follow up on that then, dude. That is a good idea. Ezgi, do you already know much about like the internals of the package manager?
I have worked on the package manager part, but I don't remember the default register logic there.
Cool. This is a time that I would love for Dan to be here. Like, Dan. That would be super sweet. Okay, sweet. Okay, sounds good. But yeah, I think so. This helps, Lovro. That's great, man. That this helps mitigate some of the risk we have around what I do believe to be the right priority call to focus on this. And then so that'll help mitigate that risk and help us keep making some parallel progress with like the reviews and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like if what we told Piotr as well, because Piotr has a limited time. Like if he at one point says, "I don't have time for this anymore," somebody from us can jump on it. So for you as well, like if you would like to focus on one of those two tasks, you can let us know, and we can try to help with the other one.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds great, man. And this is why I enjoy this team. That's the spirit of helping each other. That's always very useful, man. So I guess the last thing that I just kind of came across my mind is that obviously we've got a fair amount of things to wrap up for 1.15. But I would ask both of you to, while you're wrapping up 1.15, keep an open eye for things that you feel are not done, or that are, things that are potentially should be a priority for 1.16, because we have a bunch of stuff defined there already. But as we've got our hands in there, it's like it's all paged in right now. We're like living in this space right now. We'll probably have some good observations about things that are important that maybe we didn't think of before. So I'm very open for all of us to be suggesting priorities for 1.16 that we should be including in our list there. So let me know if there's anything that comes up that you all want to focus on in 1.16, and we'll make adjustments to the roadmap as we need to.
Okay. By the way, where we should note such stuff? Just tell you, or how it should?
Yeah, no, either that, like in our DevEx channel, Slack channel or something, that's fine. Or there's also the issue here for the 1.16 milestone as well. So if you feel free, you can comment on this. So like, hey, this is important to you. I think you can always just add a comment to this issue, and that's a fine place also.
Okay, so I thought you were talking more like general for Crossplane, not just DevEx. Okay.
Oh yeah, DevEx stuff. Yeah. In the context of DevEx.
Is 1.16 the one that we moved the repo, move it out to the Crossplane repo?
Maybe. It's I think that's in at least the it's in the
it is
Epic,
okay.
At least. Yeah. So but yeah, that that import public API package entanglement is something I don't have an answer to myself still. So for any issues we'd like to consider. Sweet. Okay, well, that was a fairly full agenda there with lots of stuff going on. So anything else that you all want to bring up that wasn't in the agenda doc? All right, well, sweet. So yeah, we got a lot to do this week. We've been doing a lot already. So I'm stoked with all the progress. And just a reminder for both of you all that if you need anything from me or want me to look at something, feel free to hit me up anytime and just remind me. I will not be annoyed with being pointed at something multiple times. You'll probably be more annoyed to have to remind me than I will be annoyed about being told multiple times. So reach out anytime. Awesome. All right, good to see both of you all.
You too.
You
Have
too.
a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.